what we're going to be doing today. And I'm hoping that everything works the way we should do. The features, also Xero Central and the free online training. I think that's very important. What I very often do for a client, if they're interested in Xero and they want to just, and for any of you that are attending this morning, is we can set up a demo company for you for a free period of 30 days. And then you create your account and you can actually go and have a look at Xero Central and sample some of the free online training that's available to you. As Namibia's, I think we are still the only gold partner for Xero. I'll have to check the records. But as a gold partner, we obviously have specials, and we have got a very big special that's running at the moment, and will run till we've well, it's not a time period, but it's for a year, or as quickly as we can get 50 new users onto the system. So, but I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Okay, so let's just have a look at introduction to Xero, and we'll quickly watch the video, and we'll pray to the internet gods that everything works well today. Great.
Today, while taking the time you need to set up your account correctly. Start with connecting bank feeds for your bank account. It's an easy task that only takes a few minutes, but the benefits are huge. Because your bank Next, add your organization details and customize your invoices by simply uploading your business logo. Add a payment service to enable your customers to easily pay your invoices online by just clicking Pay Now. These are simple items to set up and won't take too long. You can now start processing transactions and invoicing your customers anywhere, anytime, and you're in business. Once you're up and running, it's time to customize the chart of accounts to get your accounting right going forward. A few simple changes to the default chart to suit your business may be all you need. If you're importing a chart of accounts from your old system, you'll want to set aside some extra time to do this. Lucky for you, we provide tools to take the pain out of this process. You can import your chart along with opening balances straight into Xero using the template provided. And don't forget, wherever you are in Xero, help is never too far away. Do you have an existing list of customers and suppliers? You can import those into Xero too. If you have an accountant or bookkeeper, Xero enables you to collaborate with them to grow your business. If you're looking for one, you'll find plenty of Xero certified advisors at xero.com/advisor. And check out the Xero app marketplace if you have more complex needs for your industry-specific business, like farming, hairdressing, manufacturing, and more. To learn more, you can check out Xero TV. There you'll find short videos on how to set up and get the best out of the features. Welcome to Xero. It's a pleasure doing business.
Okay, great. So that's just a very quick introduction to Xero. And as you can see, there are quite a few Xero accountants here in Namibia also. So we have a plethora of firms that are slowly but surely turning over to Xero, mainly because of the ability for you to collaborate with your accountant. And I think that is where we are finding the greatest benefit to our clients is instead of accounting being sort of one-sided kind of event, you bring your stuff or you bring your books to the accountant processes it and gives you a balance sheet and income statement. We're trying to get the clients to actually collaborate with us. So in other words, we're involved in the day-to-day processing, and we teach the client how to do this in a more efficient way using things like HubDoc or Dext, for example. That are in the tourism industry. and we've done integrations into Benson, for example. PaySpace is another one, and I can't think of all of them at the moment. But those are apps that are available on the market space on the Xero marketplace to better enhance your accounting processes. So the idea is to automate as much as we possibly can. Right. Okay. So after looking at our introduction to Xero, we can follow that on by just having a look at some of the benefits. Obviously, you've got real-time and mobile. So Xero gives you real-time view of your cash flow. You can manage purchases, orders, expenses, bills, and employee payments from your iPhone, iPad, Android device, laptop, or desktop. So we're finding that is really adding a lot of value to our clients. I've used the example of one of my clients that, for example, gives training to a student. Before the student actually leaves the vehicle, the instructor has invoiced him, and the invoice is lying in that student's inbox. So real-time processing, instead of you sort of receiving your supplier invoices and putting them into a box, what do? You can simply forward them either to Dext or to HubDoc, where they'll be processed automatically using machine learning, or alternatively, you can take a picture of them with your cell phone, and that will be uploaded into your accounting system, waiting for someone to approve it. So it's all about real time. It's all about your business being able to report its financial standing at any particular time. Up to date, I think that leads into real time and mobile. Xero is automatically updated every 3 to 6 weeks to reflect changes in tax rates and provide you with new features at no extra charge. Obviously, we set the VAT rates in the company, but I think what this point is referring to is there's no software upgrades. So other legacy software that's on the market that runs on your network would need updating on a regular basis, or version updates or build updates. None of that exists with Xero. You'll simply log into Xero the next day, and you'll see that there's additional functionality that's been added, and they add quite regularly functionality to the program. You generally get sort of a pop-up bar or either to a PDF document that you can read through. So there's no such thing as calling a software specialist to come and do updates on your network machine by machine. This is all web-based, and the updates are simply loaded in the web. And the minute you log in, you will see the benefits of that. Saves time. You can save time with easy uploading of bank statements, invoice, and credit card transactions. Xero uses your bank statement as the base to process your cash book. So what we're finding in Namibia, unfortunately, is that some of our banks still don't have automatic bank feeds. This is year, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 of us not having automatic bank feeds. I know Nedbank has climbed on board with Xero in South Africa. I'm pretty sure that in the next couple of months, hopefully Nedbank would offer that service to the Nedbank clients here locally. Alternatively, if you, hopefully, I think Bank was close to offering some sort of portal. But basically what automatic bank feeds would do is push information from your bank statement directly into your Xero program. So when you log on in the morning, you will simply see that the lines from your bank statement have been uploaded into your bank reconciliation for you to allocate and to process. So we do that process manually at the moment. You just export your statement from your online get interested in offering that directly to Xero. Why? because every single time you log into your internet banking, that's a security event. That's why you have passcodes and you've got two-factor authentication and all the rest of that. So the less you log into your bank, the less security incidences you could possibly have. But not only that, it's just convenient. Every single time you open up Xero, you basically got your bank statements uploaded. So saving time is important. And I must say, we've done some installations in businesses. I've got an owner that's sitting in Switzerland. They know day by day by day what's going on in their business. They know exactly how many people stayed overnight and what their restaurant sales were. So it is, incredible at saving you time. One of the partners of our business said that in actual fact, it's saving her almost 80 to 90% of her processing time. So it's about making it convenient and making sure that the time spent by the accountant is saying to my accounting staff, do you want to be a processor for a client, or do you want to be an advisor for your client? Is important. Secure, obviously, Xero securely stores your data online using internet banking. It's the whole story of the cloud. I don't think we need to go too much into that. Can the cloud come down? Can the cloud be taken offline? Most probably. We saw recently with, I think we're still experiencing some of the effects of it, but the undersea cable that was cut on somewhere in Angola, I think it was. Obviously, that has put a lot of pressure on the internet. So you're finding that the program is working a little bit long. I think our internet service providers, though, have got enough backup capacity and redundancy that although it has affected us, it hasn't brought us to a standstill. Can the cloud come down? Well, it would have to come down in multi. Not going to get into all the specifics of that, but it would generally mean that the data center in Australia and one in Europe would need to be taken down at the same time. If something that catastrophic is happening, I think but obviously it is secure. And two-factor authentication, the first time you log into Xero, it'll allow you to log in without two-factor authentication. The next time you log in, it will force you to do two-factor authentication. What that does mean is that if you lose your password, nothing about it. The only thing that us as advisors can do is to delete your account and recreate. Two-factor authentication. Remember that it's personal to you. We don't have any kind of control over that. Collaborative, you and your accountant can look at the same information at the same time. With us having offices in Oshakati and Walfish Bay, you'll find that my accountants are processing in Oshakati. I can immediately see the changes that are happening here in Windhoek. And if the client is in South Africa, we can send him. We can publish reports to him in South Africa, within a day. So collaborative means that, the client and the accountant are drawn closer together. They're working for around the same goal or for the same goal. So we're finding that is a collaborative. We are saying to the clients, listen, please don't throw it into a box. Just take a picture of the invoice and then send it to HubDoc. We'll deal with it there. engaged with their own accounting process, which I think is important. Over 500 add-ons. I've mentioned some of them: Benson, HubDoc, there's Vend for inventory. Obviously, your particular industry that you're in might have a specialization from an inventory perspective or from a point of sale perspective. And that's where you go and add extra value to Xero. So Xero is more or less your financial reporting package. And then you can go and specialize by getting a point of sale, for example. Or alternatively, you're in the manufacturing process. You might want to institute Vend. And then more than 500 add-on packages that are available. The integrations are generally go into that program. It's also online, and it'll ask you for your Xero credentials, and it'll log on into your Xero set of accounts and process the journals directly into your Xero accounts. So the marketplace is really great. We're busy instituting a sort of an online approval process using Approval Max, and the integration, anyone who can sort of work on the internet, or anyone who can do Instagram or of accounts. Okay, helpful. Xero provides extensive online help, forums, and unlimited email-based support. I used that support yesterday. Within 2 hours, you get a reply generally, and that's any time of the day, because Xero, with Xero being worldwide, we've got they said to me, look, they know of this issue and this is the way that you can fix it. So not only that, you can also ask anyone at BDO. I think we've got in the region of 25 certified advisors that have gone through the advisor training on Xero and used the program extensively. So if I'm specializing in it, they would have had to go through the Xero certification process themselves. And then trusted by more than 1 million customers across the world. I'd like to maybe recheck that figure. Maybe it's 1.2 or 1.3 by now. But we over confuse everything, and we make everything too complicated. It's simple. You buy a product for $100 and you sell it for $150, and your book should show 50% or $50 profit. So, trying to bring accounting back down to the basics and making sure that not only do you understand it, but also your client understands it, and that it meets, obviously, the rules and regulations that legislature out there might require of the books. For example, can you print a VAT report? Yes, you can print a VAT report. Can we print IFRS sets of financial statements? Yes, we can print IFRS sets of financial statements out of the product. So it does comply with all of complaint about any of the reporting to date. In actual fact, the reporting is so much simpler. An image of a PDF image of that particular bill or invoice is attached to that transaction. So I can simply either save it as or print it for number. If you are working with Number, that you do still file the original in case they want to see the original. But hopefully with our electronic documents acts that are coming out, South Africa, you've got POPIA, in Europe, you've got GDPR. Namibia is soon to follow suit, I'm sure, with regulation that's going to be based on existing countries' regulations. So generally, we get the best into being. we should find that Numra will eventually move to a point where they'll accept an encrypted electronic document. And we go to some of the features. So what I generally do is I link these to the web because the features and that change as we go. So we'll pop over to the web. Right. Okay. So let's have a look at some of the features. Obviously, pay bills, track and pay bills on time, and get a clear overview of accounts payable and your cash flow. So we're finding that that is some of the greater benefits to our clients is we can actually tell them, listen, you're going to be in problems. Your creditors, you need to pay $1 million out at the end of the month, and you're only going to get $500,000 in. So we can immediately have a look at the bills. Why? Because our accounting is up to date. So that's the benefit of it. It's not sitting in a box waiting for someone to process. It's online and it's on time. Cash flow, you can subscribe to 6 and 12-month cash flows, but you can immediately see what's going on in your business. Claim expenses, manage spending and submit or reimburse expense claims with Xero's expense management tools. Obviously, if you've got you're working for a business where the owner is putting expenditure through, you can actually engage with the owner with one of the add-on products, and they can actually specify whether this is for business or whether this is for personal expenditure. If it's marked as personal expenditure, it will end up on their loan account. If it's marked for business, it will go through the business and be paid through the business. Obviously, bank connections, almost becoming a sore point. I certainly wish that somewhere along the line, our banks would jump on board, hoping that this gets put on the internet and that some developers at the banks here local that will integrate with your bank, but you need to pay for them. Generally, this is a service that is just offered by the bank. Okay, accept payments. Out there, like but PayPal would be, for example, one of them. At the moment, I think the Bank of Namibia does allow you to have a PayPal account, but you can pay from it, but you can't accept receipts into it. So we're working on that. I'm pretty sure that our banking is going to get up to scratch with regards to that once they've got all the regulations and controls in place. But if you do have, for example, I do see one of the icons there is Apple Pay. You know, it's great to, if you make paying for the customer easier, you tend to get your payment. The minute they walk out the door, you're generally going to wait 30 to 60 days to get the payment. So if you can make payments easier, in other words, when I send my invoice out, there's a little button that says, please click here to pay, and they click to pay and they put the bank credit card details in, you can get that up and running. So although none of our clients have really adopted it at this stage, I will give you feedback the minute we have done one of those, but I'm pretty sure that Pay Today or one of these portals will allow it. Track project. I think the basic module is built in, but if you want to extend on tracking projects, there's a small added fee that's put into it. But we can track projects, and I think one of the other things that is very important is that you can almost departmentalize in Xero. So not only can you track projects, but you can sort of departmentalize your income statement. So you can have, if you've got branches, for example, like us in Oshakati or in Walfish Bay, we can have a trial balance just for Oshakati, a trial balance for just Walfish Bay, and a trial balance just for Windhoek. Okay. GST returns, VAT returns, as I said before, Xero adequately deals with that, so there's no problems there. I have not had to come back from the VAT returns that we are, or the VAT reports that we're printing from Xero at the moment. Payroll, at this particular point in time, the payroll functionality in Xero doesn't work, but we've linked up with PaySpace, and PaySpace does have a Namibian payroll, Namibianized payroll available. But a Namibian payroll, and at the end of the day, it's also cloud-based. You pay per pay slip. It's relatively cheap, and you get certain functionality. You get online functionality available to you there. At the end of the month, PaySpace automatically pops the journal through into Xero to process your payroll run. So hopefully, when we hit, I don't know what the level would be from Xero International, but maybe if we hit 200,000 clients, they would listen to us and just Namibia us the payroll built into the program. To ease your minds, South Africa, they haven't done yet either. And there's quite a few more subscribers in South Africa than Namibia. Okay, bank reconciliation. The bank reconciliation is easy. The concept of a cash book is actually thrown out and you process directly from your cash. From a bank feed, you can simply allocate or process that bank statement. Once you've processed all of them, your bank recon will reconcile. So it's almost like a game, because with machine learning and with Xero's intelligence in the back end, it actually has a look and sees if there's a payment or a supplier or an invoice. So in your system that matches a particular line on your bank statement. If it finds a match, it will say to you, hello, I found this, is this okay? Is this what you were paying? And you just simply click on OK, and you've processed that line. If there's more than one, let's say it's a generic $100 bank charges that goes through, it'll say, look, I found 5. Is it one of these 5? So it really is an accounting system built for non-accountants, but it makes it so interactive, because even on your bank recon page, there's a sort of particular payment they can ask you, or if you don't know as the accountant, you can ask the client. So bank reconciliations are becoming more and more easier to do, and especially if you use a program like HubDoc that's built into Xero, or if you purchase Dex, which used to be called Receipt Bank, you can have all of that done relatively easily. It pulls through your supply invoice, has a look, extracts the date, the invoice number. Dex, I've heard, I think HubDoc is not far behind. They actually now are putting lines on invoices too. So you can even pull the lines on the invoices. Previously, we just pulled the totals and the VAT. Is almost there or has already. Contacts, the concept of a customer and a supplier is sort of thrown out the window, in the sense that in today's environment, we have contacts, and the contact is someone whom you can buy from and sell to. Depending on the nature of the transaction, Xero will sort out what you owe versus what they owe you. So I encourage my clients to start using that concept of a contact as opposed to a supplier and a customer, mainly because we are in that environment. So now you don't have to have 2 accounts. Let's say, for example, Walton's stationery company. Let's say Walton's is a supplier of separate accounts, a supplier account and a customer account, whereas when you have it as a contact, you manage both sides of it. Right, capture data, get copies of documents and key data stored into Xero automatically. So there's various ways to get electronic documentation into Xero. Xero's got a file section. You can generally, on any kind of transaction, you can click and drag a supporting documentation. Let's say you're in construction and you've got a one of those completion certificates that you want to invoice out. You can simply scan that stuff in and attach it to the invoice. You can then decide whether you want to send that with the invoice or not, or just keep it as evidence on that particular invoice. So I've been using Xero for, it must be 4 or 5 years personally, and I haven't run out of space. Xero at once, they also haven't been told, listen, you know, you've hit a mark. What they do tend to do is just be careful that you don't leave, for example, copy an image of a piece of evidence, let's say a photograph, into Xero, because, and then expect it to maintain all of the metadata on it. So generally what Xero is doing is it's stripping the data down purely just to the image. So I know if you've got an Apple phone and you take a picture, it stores the location, all the other matrices of that particular photograph. If you copy that into Xero, it strips all of that away, so it's just the image. If you copy it back out, it doesn't add it back in. That data is gone. So in particular, be careful of that kind of saving of evidence. Files, use Xero for online files. Obviously, I think I'm mixing these 2 points up, but files and data capture is almost the same thing. Once again, you can use it as a file storage. I would not store confidential information in Xero, so please don't go and store your salary files in there, because it's not behind any protections. So generally, all the users have access to the file section. So what you would put in there is information that would be available to most of your users or all of your users. For example, company registration documents. Maybe your suppliers keep on asking you for bank confirmation letter. You can pop that in there. Some data that you would all collaborate with and use. And then reporting, just recently Xero did some major updates. It went from its old reporting system to the new reporting system. And we are seeing features added on a regular basis now. You can also create your own reports. I am thoroughly impressed with the reporting of Xero. At the moment, we're busy implementing management account reporting. It's a default set of accounts. I can pull it for my clients. Once I've set it up, obviously, I can pull it for my clients instantaneously. So all I have to ask is your bank recon up to date, and have you processed all your customer and supplier invoices? They say yes, I can generally print out management reports for them with very little to no errors on it. Okay, so the reporting is great. As I said, if you are using tracking, you can track, your different branches. You can actually print it out per branch. So you could have a trial balance per branch and then a total. There's various things that you can do. Thoroughly impressed with the reporting. Last session, we did deal with a whole bunch of the reporting. If we have any time left, we can have a look at that later. Great. So let's have a look at inventory. It's got a basic inventory module. Please note, I say basic inventory module. It is not a manufacturing module. It takes about 4,000 to 5,000 inventory items. It's designed for your small company or your small retail shop. if you are going to go bigger, we need to have a look at adding on to Xero, an inventory management system. For example, Benson, and there are a couple of others that are in the market too. I'm just using Benson because that was the last one I used at a client. Okay, online invoicing. Obviously, you can do your invoicing. You do it from your phone. I think that's the greatest thing. You can do a quote from a phone. So let's say you've got a lot of sale agents going out there. You can set the pricing of your inventory items. They can do the quote while they're walking around with the client and have it in their inbox by the time the client sits down at their desk. So that ease of business is really where we want to go. The quoting system also tells you what quotes have been accepted, so the client can accept it online and you renew. So there's a little bit of control over your quoting there, but very nice to use. And I think the functionality of being able to do it on your phone, which is our communication / life device at the moment. I tell you, if someone loses their phone, it's like losing a relative. But clients are so impressed, why we not had this? I don't need. Okay, and then depending on what kind of package you buy, you can have the multi-currency package, and that's available on the premium package. Multi-currency updated real time with Xero.com. So you just deal with emailing the client in US dollars or in euro, whatever you want to, and at Xero's exchange rate on that particular day, it's exchanging that back into Namibian dollars for you. When the client pays, it will also convert that back into US dollars or into Namibian dollars, and it will work out the forex gain or loss on that transaction. So seamless, lovely to, nice to have. And I do find that a lot of clients are doing that. Just remember that Xero does see South African Rand as a foreign currency. So if you are bringing invoices in via HubDoc or via Dext, you need to sort of default it that the Rand is the Namibian dollar, which you can do. But it will every now and again pick up an invoice that says, oh, this is a Rand, and you need to convert it to Namibian dollars. Obviously, it's 1-to-1, but just also great. You can do a purchase order. You can immediately take that purchase order, link it to a bill. You can link it to various bills if you're only part receiving purchase orders. So you've got that control in. You've got quotes, as I said before. And then obviously you've got your analytics, see future cash flows. Xero sells this. It's similar to the projects. And then if you like the bottle, you must buy a bottle. Okay, so it's one of those built-in functions where you get 3 months for free, or you can see 3 months of cash flow. But if you want to go 6 or 12, which is generally what the banks are requiring, you do need to upgrade. I think it's an extra $2 or $3 US per month to add that extra functionality in. Accounting dashboard, we can have a look at that when we do the demo, but that is sort of your window into your particular stuff that is important to you, and you can customize that per user. Another great to have if you, for example, process a payment to a fixed asset account. Xero will prompt you and say, hi, I see you processing this to a fixed asset account. Do you want me to create a draft asset in the asset module for you? And you can just say yes. You can go back in, it'll have that information there, and then you can for free. So okay. Oops. Hello. Did I lose everyone? Am I back online?
Hi, Warren. You are here. The internet connectivity, we've had clients reporting that there's issues, and I've heard from people outside also that there's issues. Fortunately, this session is recorded, so if someone missed something, they can go back to the recordings.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We do seem to be having terrible issues with regards to my video, but maybe if everyone else in the group can turn off their video, then that. Latency on the internet at the moment. So we'll bear with the internet service providers and hope for the best. Okay, great. So in other words, you're recording me speaking to myself, Nicole. That's the sign of a madman. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can still see your screen and everything.
Okay, great. Okay, well, I hope we haven't missed too many. We haven't lost too many people. Let's just carry on. Integrated apps, I think I've talked enough about that. You can obviously have a look at all the apps that are available on the App Store. But you can have a quick window into the world, into your business. Have a look what your bank account is. Let's say you're wanting to buy the latest iPhone 15 or whatever it is. You can quickly have a look in your Xero app and see if you've got enough money in the bank. Okay, so also for us, the most important thing is you can do invoicing. So it frees you up to do your invoicing from your phone. And then plan day from Xero, you see they do add new things in. Staff time tracking, rostering, communication, and award interpretation all in one place. So I think that that is something that they've added in. We will be investigating that in the future. I don't know whether this is absolutely available for all the users at the moment, especially because the payroll doesn't work. So we're not adding staff to Xero at the moment. Okay, but we'll invest. Good. Great. So going back to our slideshow, we've looked at the features. And the next slide that we're going to look at is Xero Central and online training. And I think we have a link for that too. Should be taking me into Xero Central. Oh, I see that. Okay. Okay, great. Wonderful. So if you are in Xero Central, and I'm just going to quickly log in. Right. So if you do look at Xero Central, you obviously have a whole bunch of things to do, but the main categories here are support and learning. So if you do decide to go onto the learning, once you've created your account, you have Xero certifications and you have webinars and events that you can go into. So if you do get a Xero certification, remember that you need to keep that certification rolling. So you need to attend some of these webinars, but it will notify you of that. But if you want to do something like how do you process your bank recon, for example, if you look up your bank reconciliation under learning, that what you need to do. So keep your accounts up to date with bank. So it will tell you in the Get Started guide. You can go and have a look at that. And you can also do workflow for your end clients using the Xero Ledger. You can actually have a look at a course there. So there are many different courses that you could go on. If you look at your recommended courses, upcoming webinars, for example, and then you can track your progress, maintain your certification, for example. You can do all of those kinds of things. Unfortunately, I tend to be on the, we'll quickly have a look at the Xero certifications again. But you can have a look at the different courses there. And what it'll do is it'll actually keep up to date and then tell you when you need to actually have done your certifications by. Okay, so that is the one side of it. The other side of it is the support side. And as I said, the support side, you can generally just say, you know, how do I process an invoice? To process an invoice, and it should generally come up with a whole bunch of answers for you. And if you look carefully, there will also be a get started guide, and you know, it's one of 10 pages. So if you click on one of these links, it will also take you into various videos. So when you're logging into Xero for the first time, you'll see mostly almost every single page you click on how to do it and how to get more training. There's Xero on YouTube that you could have a look at also. So there are so many avenues to getting training, and it's all built into your user account. So what a lot of my clients have done is they will go, if they are doing the conversion to Xero, they will ask me to set up their accounts. They will then tell their users to go to online training. We let them do that first. And as I said, you can actually do sort of like the simpler courses too. You don't have to do the Xero certification. I'm just trying to, oh, there's the show more button. Get to grips with basic bookkeeping, for example, is a course that you can do. You know, set up and use Xero work papers. You know, you can do these courses. It'll take you step by step through them. It asks you a couple of questions to make sure that you weren't just sitting there and going through the course while watching Netflix. But you could choose a webinar, complete the activities. You know, so it's all automated for you and keeps track of what you've done, which is great. And what we do is we then ask, the client will ask the users to do some of the courses. We help with the choosing of those courses, and then to have sort of like a session with one of either myself or one of the other advisors to actually just consolidate all that information and to look at best practices within their particular business. So that's generally how we will structure the training. But just so you know, all of this is available to you for free with your Xero subscription. Right. Okay. And as I said, the help desk functionality is also beyond belief. If you eventually can't get an answer, what you can do is you can simply within 2 hours, or we'd hope within 2 hours. Right. Let's have a look at the marketplace. I just wanted to show you what the So if we do look at the marketplace, you'll see that you've got popular app categories like inventory, reporting, manufacturing, retail. Obviously, this all comes at an additional price. And people start saying, oh, well, you know, Xero, that's $40, 40 US per month. If you want a very complicated inventory manufacturing kind of system, you're looking at 10,000 Namibian dollars per month. So that's 120. But go and have a look at the renewal fees on your existing software. you know, and compare it with that. Also, into those costs, you need to add your network maintenance, software maintenance on your network, backing up time and costs that are involved, etc., etc. You can throw that all out of the window. You could start a business with 5 laptops and 5 desks using Xero and all of this, and you've got nothing to worry about when it comes to the backing up of your software, the availability. All you'll need is an internet connection. So this is where this can add tremendous value to a business that wants to start up very quickly. Your startup costs are very, very, very low, and obviously monthly. So you don't also need to go and invest. You know, some of the software out there, it's $1 million to $1 million you can do away with, because you could simply subscribe to a service that's available here. So if we have a look at inventory, because we know the inventory module is lacking, you've got Easy Bills, Simpro, Unleashed. I know in Namibia, so we do have Lightspeed's consultants available. I've worked with 1 or 2 of those installations. So very nice program. A lot of our bigger companies are using that, and it's cheap. Then you got C7 that used to be, it had a popular name, but they've now changed. Cloud-based solution focused on helping product sellers grow their business. Some of these will link you directly into online websites where you can sell your products online. So that's just some of the programs out there, and you can see that's just inventory, and there's 2 pages of that. So many out there. If you wanted to look at another industry, let's look at, I don't know, construction. You'll find that a lot of the same programs are also listed for construction, because they're dealing with both. They can deal with both industries. So you've got Dext Commerce here, RM Minute, Next Minute. So, you know, sort of doing real-time inventory delivery. Excuse me. If you wanted to have a look at some of the other functions, for example, if you wanted to have a look at reporting, you could go and have a look at the different reporting modules that are available there. Spotlight reporting is something that we're looking into, but you've got Flex financial reporting, direct access to Xero data in Excel. So you install that program, and then what you can do is you can access your Xero data in an Excel spreadsheet. So all of the information that's available for you, it would be available in your Excel, and then you can pivot table and do analysis and do whatever you want to. If Excel is your preferred reporting tool, if I want to put it that way. BI is your preferred reporting tool. There's ones for BI, Microsoft BI. You've got re-release, you've got float, you've got all of these kinds of things. So there isn't some websites, and off you go. Debtors us to pay, and our debtors say, we will pay, but don't pay. Collect. So you can have a look at all of the kinds of software that's available to you. What I have found is there's almost nothing that you can't. I'm challenged to find a program that will not deal with any one of our clients' needs. I think where it does come into where it sort of gets sticky is the pricing. But look at it in the same light that you're looking at other software out there that is installation based on a network. You know, you need you know, you need to put everything into the cloud first and then make it a server, you know, create your online servers. and then load the software into that, and then you have to pay data fees, etc., etc., etc. Generally, these things include the data management fees. Okay, so you need to look at the pricing and the cost as a whole. Right, enough about the marketplace. Let's go back, and we can deal with the pricing. So this is the pricing as it currently stands. For the starter package, it's 25 US per month. For the standard package, which is the most popular package, it's 40, and for premium it's 54. So the problem with the starter pack is it tends to be, quite limiting. Only send quotes and 20 invoices and enter 5 bills. So that would be, for example, if you were renting out your house, maybe, you might want to package it onto the starter package. The standard package is basically unlimited. So you can have unlimited, in the starter package, all 3 packages, it's unlimited users, right? But in the standard package, you've got no limits on the amount of transactions. And then on the premium, we're simply adding the foreign currency into it. At the bottom, you will see extra 7, analytics plus from an extra $7 per month. So you can add on to those. And obviously, if you've got any other add-on programs like Lightspeed or Benson, you're looking at $40 US is, 20, it's $800. That's 96, isn't it? So 9,600. It is expensive, but have a look at the other costs that you're spending. IT call-out fees, for example. Add that into it. Okay. The unfortunate news is that South African pricing is in rands. Namibian pricing, unfortunately, we're still grouped with Xero Europe. And so our pricing will remain in US dollars for the time being. I am screaming and jumping up and down at our account managers and at the powers that be in Xero. But the more subscribers we have, the higher I can jump. Saying that, the price increase is going to be that the 25 US dollar package will increase to 29 US dollars. The 40 US dollar package will increase to 46, and the 54 US dollar package will increase to 62. The good news is that along with that price increase, I managed to negotiate for a full year a 50% discount for a year on the package. So obviously next month it will be 50% for 11 months, and the month thereafter it will be 50% for 10 months. So, but yes, so we halved all those prices, effective from currently. So you can also benefit if you take the subscription now. Your standard package would be $20 US until the 15th of November, whereby it will then go to 23. So for the next year, you can get the standard package for what the starter package, or for less than the starter package currently. So please, if you are ever thinking about it, now is perhaps a good time to start. You will see the benefit, even if you just look at the time savings that you've got. The time savings is very important too. Okay, so that's the unfortunate news. We have no real clout when it comes to how the pricing is going. Obviously, the US dollar hits us badly. So at the moment, we are slightly above the South African pricing. But for a long time, while the US dollar is hovering there around 17 and 16, we were less than South African pricing in rand. So let's see, hope that the powers that be bring the US dollar pricing back down to what it should be, and then hopefully our packages will get cheaper. At BDO, what we generally do is we can automatically charge you if you don't want to put it onto your onto your own credit card. Then we will charge you at the exchange rate on the day that we build, plus that. Okay, right. I think we're almost an hour in. This is generally when we will take like a. Do we have any questions, Nicole? Am I talking to someone?
You were talking to me, Warren. Sorry.
There. Okay,
There only
very
have
quiet
been
there.
comments or complaints about the internet. Everyone's struggling with the internet, so there's not much we can do about it.
Okay.
Except provide the
Great.
recording.
Okay, yeah. I see, is it Tulenda that has been working on Xero for 3 days? Oh, well, welcome to Xero. I'm pretty sure that you're going to love the program in the next 4 days. Okay. I don't think the session's too long, so what we'll do is let's carry on while we've still got internet. Do we lose most of our people?
I see a lot of people have dropped out.
Yeah.
But the
Okay.
internet is terrible. It's quite jerky, and yeah, it's like not a good day to do online training.
Okay. In any case, I'm going to push through and then we can have a questions and answer session. Great. Okay. So HubDoc versus Dex for Seedbank. I've got 2 videos that I'm going to show you here, and then we can have a quick discussion about that.
HubDoc integrates with Xero to make it easy to manage your receipts, bills, and transactions. Use HubDoc.
Right, guys. I don't think I'm going to waste our time on HubDoc or any of these videos. It seems like the later it gets in the morning, the more degraded the internet line is. Basically, what HubDoc and Dexstar or Receipt Bank is a way for you to send an invoice through to your accounting process. It uses machine learning, and by using machine learning, what it in essence will do is it will pick all the information out of that invoice that is relevant for you to process, and then you simply review that. As you are reviewing, the program is learning, and so the next time it comes in, you can set defaults so that if it's City of Windhoek, that it will process it to rates and taxes or to water and electricity. You train the program, and then as you see the program is dealing with it correctly, you automate that process. You say, I don't want to review it anymore. Please just automatically send this through. And when you go into Xero, you will actually see that that image of that invoice has been attached. For example, City of Windhoek is a good example because they email you their statements or their invoices. So that email will come into your inbox, but you just forward it, or alternatively, you can set your unique HubDoc or Dex email address, because you'll get a unique email address that you can just forward information through to, and it'll automatically pull that out. And I will give you a quick example without giving you too much information. So let's just log into Xero here. But the minute you're trying to access anything that's not cached, then it seems to take a very long time. So for those that have remained, I thank you very much. You're going to have a brilliant question and answer session. Right, so if I just go into, I'm going to just go into one of it is very bad. So if I go into HubDoc, right, so if I go into that DEF, so for example, on this particular one, I used the example of the City of Windhoek invoice. So the City of Windhoek invoice has come through and it's processed on here. But you'll see on the side, it's actually picked up City of Windhoek, the invoice reference number, the date when it's due, the amount, and then also, if you look over here, it'll show you that it's putting it to rates and taxes, City of Windhoek, and it's going to push it into Xero as a purchase, but in the status draft. But you can change that to either draft, awaiting approval, or awaiting payment. So the minute I am happy with all of this information that it's picked up, I can say, please publish it to Xero. If we go into our chart of accounts, and we go to rates and taxes, not account, but if we go into rates and taxes, you will be able to see, I'm now going to, let's have a look. Let's take that one. That when I look at the one, and if I click on that, what do I get? But I actually get the image that's been pulled through. So you can imagine how this, if you go through a VAT audit and they do selections, you can imagine how easy it is for you to find your documentation on here. So that's the ease of use and the saving of time that we're talking about. And that could be a City of Windhoek invoice that has been emailed. Alternatively, you can also send a photographed invoice and it will pick it up. I've even used, and I've said this often, I've even had it recognize a handwritten invoice. Obviously, the writing mustn't be a doctor's writing, and no offense to the doctors, but they generally, no one can read that. But generally, if it's written in a legible form, in a legible way, you can actually also get it scanned in here. So you simply send all of your information, and Dex works very similar to this. However, Dex has been longer in the market. So obviously, their machine where HubDoc is. I'm not dissing HubDoc, I'm not dissing Dex, but HubDoc is for free. It's included in your subscription, your monthly subscription. Dex, there is an additional cost. It is a rand cost. an unlimited account. In other words, you can push generally 3, 4, 5,000 transactions through it. Should cost you in the region of about $1,000, $1 million. Now, that almost replaces your creditors clerk, because you'll see here that not only is, Dext, or Dext does the same, but I'm showing you in HubDoc, not only do you get it to sort of save your information, but if you look in the uploads folder, it's actually categorizing your expenses. So if I see I've got 2 City of Windhoek, and there's my 2 City of Windhoek, and they've both been pushed into Xero. Okay, IBX, ACDC, electrical, and so you've got all of these. So it's actually not only keeping the information, but it's also sort of doing the filing for you. So what else would you need? I mean, this adds so much functionality to Xero. Xero, you could also, instead of pushing it through, you can simply click and drag a file onto the screen, and it'll upload that into your books. The next option that we've got with Dext, they have linked, I know 1 or 2 of my clients have had issues with regards to purchase orders, and linking the purchase order to the supplier invoice. I know Dext is able through into Dext, you can actually tell it which purchase order it belongs to. So I haven't seen that functionality in HubDoc yet, but I'm certainly not dissing either of the programs. The one is for free, and it is certainly catching up in speed. Are a couple of years ahead, I think, in machine learning. That's about the only thing. So the more and more you sort of push, more and more documents you push through the software, the more and more it learns all the different kinds of invoice formats, to the point where in actual fact you'll sort of, instead of it sitting there, because sometimes it'll sit in the processing column here for a couple of hours. The more you push through, the processing actually happens a lot quicker. Okay, so that's the added advantage of that. Right. Choose whichever one you want. I do have a personal preference. I've said it on numerous occasions, but I'm not going to say it at this time because I'm currently in negotiations with Dext again. But HubDoc is adequate for the functionality that you want to do. Great. And then we'll look at the demonstration. Well, I say, why not Xero? There are other accounting packages out there, but Xero's got the most well-rounded one of them. In your Xero accounting package, it's good for you, collaboration. We've been through all of those advantages. But I thought just to start this, I'd love to show you the Xero Roadshow that happened in South Africa just recently. And they have these throughout South Africa. We are hoping to have sort of like a roadshow here in Namibia and let some Namibian developers also showcase some of their software, and let some of the international vendors also come here. But not only that, the sort of local African kind of Xero roadshow, but there's also international Xero roadshows. It being originating in New Zealand and Australia, they always seem to have one international XeroCon there, and they tend to have one in the UK. But I just wanted to show you, the kind of support and innovation that's happening. So let's hope that this video runs. I did try to buffer it a little bit before. But after the video, then we'll have a question and answer session. So let's see, holding thumbs. I don't think it's going to buff any more than that.
We're here as part of the Xero Roadshow to tell our business story and tell the story of how our partnership with Xero has helped us scale and how it's made life easier and also just a lot more convenient for the teams involved in running the actual day-to-day business.
Roadshow, absolutely amazing, great turnout, exciting, bringing the community together, helping partners, collaborating with small businesses just to grow the industry. We always make it a point to come to the Xero Roadshows on a yearly basis. We find that it's the best opportunity for us to engage with accountants that are already on our platform and for us to meet new people and engage as well.
I think first and foremost, having access to your data online and real-time insight into your business is probably the biggest value add that you can have from cloud technology. Secondly, collaboration is key. You can have multiple people working on the same data, wherever they are, remotely, etc. And also, it enables you to integrate your accounting financial data with many other systems that you may use. All those tools to be part of the roadshow to drive digital inclusion and to create legal payments in South Africa by offering a simplified e-billing solutions to enable everybody who sends out invoices through the Xero platform as simple and easy payment methods to pay.
We often neglect the basics, which is housekeeping. So ask yourself, is your compliance in check? Do you know your numbers? Do you have a perspective? Because in order for you to be sustainable and to be around for the next 12 months, you actually have to have an idea of where you currently are.
Wrapping up the event for the roadshow. Being around the accountants who are doing often a selfless job of looking after small businesses, having to make sense out of chaos and having to bring order out of chaos, and dealing with so many challenges besides the ones that we're all very well aware of, having to deal with small business owners and provide them with advice and consultations and supports all the time. And so we love connecting with our partners. We love encouraging them, strengthening them, and just spending time with people.
This is the 6th year that I'm attending the Xero Roadshow, and I keep coming back. Why? Because of the people. Business can really get lonely out there, and being able to rub shoulders with those that are in the industry with us and hearing the single day.
It's been really cool being here at my very first Xero Roadshow, and it's been super encouraging to be around like-minded South Africans who care about growing our country and the economy and being part of the solution.
How's it, guys? Eddie Moss here, out here at CTICC. What an amazing event. I tell you now, it's my first year, and I promise you, this has been an event that has been mind-blowing, something that everyone needs to attend. And I'm telling you now, so much value you're going to get out of this event. And hopefully, we're going to see you next year.
Right. Okay. Well, we can be grateful that at least that. And please feel free to go onto YouTube. There's, as you can see, there's creating an online practice payroll setup. There's a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of tools out there to help you. And I don't seem to want to get out of my full screen. Okay, good. So having said that, I think just see my power presentation. I think that we are at the point where we can have a hello? Oh, this is terribly bad. Hello?
Hi, Lauren. Yeah, the internet is terribly bad today.
So I think we're only left with Elaine and Lisa and Michelle and Zenobia and Helene and is it Elkan and Lucas? Okay. Great. Look, I think for all the internet woes that we've had, we're because there's no real demo today. I thought let me open up the floor, and hopefully your connections are still working. And if you've got any questions or specific things that you want to know in your business, if you've already moved to Xero, then we can discuss those. Okay, so please feel free. I mean, you don't have to type them. You can see if you can climb online and just ask.
I see Helene is typing.
Yes. Any questions? It's amazing. I think they should discount us for our bad internet. I don't know, maybe Helene is typing on another program. Great. Good, guys, yeah. Will Xero work for a manufacturing company of building materials? Helene, absolutely. If you're specifically asking like brick companies, then yes, but any kind of company, absolutely. However, I'm going to reiterate that you would need to go into your Xero marketplace. So if we quickly went into our Xero marketplace, and we'll take you there quickly. So if we go to our, where was our? If you go into the Xero marketplace and you simply say manufacturing, because that's basically what you're in. Production manufacturing, you'll see there are many programs out there. So the ones that I do know that have sort of that are the name I've heard before is Tidy Stock, Fishbowl, and Unleashed. Those are the three that I would look at. But you can absolutely, you know, you need to almost look through all of them because some of them will give you so much much more functionality than you want. I know like that CN7 software, a quote that I did for a client recently, that software is about $10,000 Namibian per month. You don't really, you know, but that you need to look at what kind of functionality you actually need. Luckily, sync, I think is what that is how you say it. CN7 is sync. 7. You can actually structure it. You could say how many people you want access to, and they'll build the quota around you. But you hit the help button on any of these websites, because this will take you to another website. They are incredibly eager to always assist you. Does that answer your question? I see we losing people slowly. Yes,
I'm hoping you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yes, it does answer my question. I actually just wanted to know more. Is there a I think it's a manufacturing module in any of those products?
Absolutely. So I think what I'm trying to say to you is, if you take, for example, I'll take one of them. Let's quickly see. Let's just take one that's MRP Easy. So if we take MRP Easy, for example, and I think you just click on Get This App, and then it will take you to the, no, we don't want to do that. MRP Easy, there's generally a link here somewhere. I don't know why nothing is working today, but let's just open up a new web page, and we just do MRP Easy. MRP Easy. Okay. So what I'm trying to say here is your module is one of these, right? So you would go and look through some of the add-on products, and that would add that module onto Xero. So it automatically integrates this particular online program, automatically integrates with all of these, including Xero, right? And it deals with accurate production planning and reporting, real-time inventory overview, precise on-time deliveries, a complete view of your business, integrated manufacturing software for business growth. So you've got production planning, stock, and CRM sales. You also have a team, purchasing, and accounting that's in this. And if you go and you want to try it, if I want to try the software, I can just click on it. Oh, this particular one says subscription is not available in your region. So obviously they don't give it to you in this particular region, but I'm using this as an example. So you can then go and you can decide which version of the software. They'll also have a starter, professional, enterprise, and unlimited. And you would need to pay $49 for the per user per month. And you would get the following: production planning, bill of material management, drag and drop rescheduling, lots traceability, reporting via internet kiosk, supply chain, warehouse, and all of that kind of stuff. So I've now just obviously chosen the one that's not available in Namibia. I don't know why they wouldn't. Generally, they do. But Unleashed, I think, is. So let me try Unleashed quickly. Unleashed. So if we try Unleashed software, let's have a look at the pricing. So this would also be $999 per month. It can get quite expensive if you wanted to, but this would be the industries that it's dealing with is manufacturing, inventory management software, and this software would be a platform. This would integrate automatically with your Xero, so it would push all the information through to it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Yeah, actually go and have a look at what other products you could integrate. There's so many there, I can't go through them all. But if you want to, you can consult with me, and we can you know, have a look for you. And then I can also, you know, lean on our South African office and see if there's anyone in your type of business that is being catered for by our South African branch or our UK branch or our US branch, and, you know, learn from their best practices. But as I said, you can, you need to go through and have a look which one would best suit you. We're more than willing to help you though too. I think Omni is going to be this one here. Omni is very good, and I know the CM7, but there'll be one that will suit your needs completely. Great.
All right, thank you.
And then you say you might have missed this due to bad internet, but is Xero just cloud-based? And yes, it is only cloud-based. Up with okay, so Xero is cloud-based. So there's as I said, for the cloud to come down, you would have to have multiple instances of data loss over, you know, more than one continent. That's what I'm trying to say, for you to lose data. There is, however, a functionality whereby you can go and you can go to your accounting, and under advanced, you can export your accounting data as an added backup. So you can print and export your data into, for example, Caseware or MYOB. There's various sometimes it's just the Xero general ledger in a text format. So it'll export your entire general ledger, which is all your debits and your credits, into a text file, and that text file can then be read by most programs. Okay, any other questions?
I didn't get that.
Oops, sorry, that's the internet must be coming back again because Siri is responding. Anything else? Okay. How are you?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How have you been, sorry? You have been a while. No,
Great,
my question,
yes.
I have now started with Xero, but the
Yes.
thing that I have realized is that the pricing, they are not fixed. They are not fixed.
No.
Every day it changes according to the dollar. And
That's
the problem
correct.
is now it's not augur well to the customer every time you are sending different price.
Yes. Well,
yes. Hello.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, Lucas.
Yes, and now
yes,
it's really not good to our clients, because sometimes we are having a contract that you have to pay this amount for a period of time. Now you find that yesterday you said it's 400, is 600. They are saying we are not really consistent and transparent. How can you advise us on that?
Okay. Well, there's one of two ways of dealing with that particular issue. So when I quote a client, I generally quote them in US dollars. So I say quoted in US dollars and exchanged at the date of the, let's say the 31st or on the last day of a calendar month, the exchange rate. That would be the one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to sort of set your pricing based on the exchange rate today, and then you will exchange gain or loss on whatever price you've quoted for a year. That becomes quite difficult because, for example, if you quoted a client now for a year, remember, you will start making losses on the software. So I generally quote in US dollars and say it will be exchanged at the exchange rate at the end of a calendar month. What I sometimes do with clients is we actually don't bill them for the software. So we consider the software to be a disbursement that we carry, in the sense of it enables us to provide a better service. So if you're looking at anything from the $600 to the $1,000 range, we look at saving time to incorporate that in our existing service. So in other words, you cost it into it as an addition. So unfortunately, there's no ways we are going to get around it. They are not going to change our pricing from US dollars. I'm still relatively convinced that it is still worth the cost. Lucas, tell me, are you on the? Are you also using the ledger and the cash book? Do you have that available to you? Lucas?
Yeah, what I'm using now, I did not start with the ledger, because some of the clients they are using manual invoices. So what I used to do is to capture those invoices through the spend money and receive money.
Yeah.
Then it will also go back to the profit and loss balance sheet and so on. It also doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, I did not explore. I did not see where the cash book is. I did not explore that one.
Okay. No, available to if you are a Xero practice like we are, or that are not readily available on the market, and those packages are considerably reduced pricing. So the one is just the ledger. So in other words, if you want to just take a trial balance on and do journals and then produce financial statements from that. And then the other one is a cash book that gives you a cash book with that. So you can process your spend and receive money with your journals to produce a set of financial statements. So that would be your small, maybe your individual. There are two other packages, and I mean, for, the ledger, for example, I think goes for $4 US.
Sorry, Mr. Warren. Because the network. You said if I'm a practice partner, where should I find the cash book?
Yes.
Where should I find the cash book?
Okay, I will show you. So, for example, if I go into this company and I'm looking at their subscription, right? So if I manage the subscription, but this is only available to advisors. So if you signed up as a Xero practitioner with Xero.
Yes, I did that one.
Yeah. So if you go into the subscription, you will see, and I changed the subscription. You will see that you've got a regular plan. So these are the plans that where you invite the client to collaborate. But if you click on the partner only plans, these are the plans that are the ones that are available, right, to just draft financial statements for a client. So for example, the ledger and the cash book.
Okay.
Okay. So the regular plans are the plans where you the regular plans are the plans where you are able to interact with the client. The partner plans are where you just produce financial statements for the client. Okay.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
So if, for example, if somebody just want for me to produce financial statement, I have to go on the ledger. On the ledger. Okay.
Correct. So then
I
you
have
just
to
go to trial balance and journals. That's all.
Okay.
But you must remember that when you're in that, you can produce financial statements now for the clients. So, for example, when we go in as an accountant, I can now go to my reporting module, and I can then produce financial statements because I've got an advisor tab. And the advisor tab allows me to do, for example, AFS for individuals, where I can then pull out all of the information that needs to go on a set of financial statements. So there is my general information. I've got my proprietor's responsibility and approval report, for example, and we've got our practitioner's compilation report and all sorts of stuff. You understand? So we are then able to produce these this information seamlessly.
Okay.
Good. Great. Any other questions? Okay.
Warren?
Yes. Yeah.
For example, now to put a logo on invoice for a client, for a customer. Now,
Yes.
the Xero just made a small that is on the right. How can I customize the logo for a customer want the logo to be the sender? How can I customize that one?
You would customize that by going to settings, then to invoice settings, right? And then what you can do here is you can create your own. So you would choose a custom branding theme, right? And when you choose a custom branding theme, it gives you the opportunity to download the templates in Word. So you download them in Word, and once you've downloaded them in Word, you can open up the invoice, for example, and you're then able to customize it as you want it. So, for example, one of the this is a particular example, but you could then say, well, no, I want that to be. I can show you, for example, what I've done with one of my clients. It should be here somewhere.
Okay, so meaning this is where I can also
So for example, I've done this for a particular client. I think it's that one. Yeah. So I've made it like that, and then you can sing to it. Okay. So, and then once you're done with that, you simply save it, and once you've saved it, you then go back into Xero, and you go back into Xero, and you simply upload the new template. So you can upload the template.
So this is where also, if I want to have the banking information on the invoice, where I supposed to go. Then once I upload,
you can put it there.
Okay, once I upload, it's only once of.
Yeah.
Or should. Or
so no. Well, once you've done that and you've saved it as a template, you then browse and you import it, and then it will be part of your browsing theme. So when you do an invoice, you can either choose the standard format or you can choose the FWC format. If you want to make the FWC format the default one, you simply drag it to the top, and then it will make the FWC one the default one.
Okay. Okay.
So now every time I do an invoice, I can choose between FWC or standard or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay. Perfect.
Good. Right. Okay. Is there any more questions? Michelle, Helene, Elkan? Great. Saying that, there don't seem to be any more questions. Thank you for hanging on. The internet connection has been terrible today. I apologize for that. Hopefully, Nicole's been get, and hopefully it's not all scratchy also. But possibly. But until then, please, if you've got any questions, please feel free to approach Nicole. She'll get hold of me, or approach me directly. I'm simply warren@bdo.com.na, and I'll help you answer any of your questions that you might have. Otherwise, have a great day, and